RetroDaze.
With all the varied merchandising ephemera available through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, it's a wonder we ever had any cash in our piggy banks at all. It always seemed like as soon as our allowances came in, if we were lucky enough to get an allowance, those shiny quarters were dumped into arcade machines and crisp dollars were traded in for candy bars, action figures, and video games.
Lucky for us, there were always those small promotional items that could fill in the gaps between cash infusions. Sometimes the items were completely free, like in our recent episode about cereal box premiums. Other times they merely required a couple of UPC codes and a self-addressed stamped envelope. Almost as often, they were discounted merchandise with the purchase of a fast food meal. In the case of collectible character drinking glasses, they'd end up in almost every one of these places, ranging from completely free to costing a pittance with purchase. Collectible character drinking glasses are tumblers with some kind of cartoon, movie, comic, or television character printed on the glass, and they were everywhere in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Of course, if you've been watching our show, you know what I'm about to say. This type of collectible glassware actually began its life long before our collective childhoods, all the way back in the 1930s. See? Told ya. According to John Hervey in his book Collector's Guide to Cartoon and Promotional Drinking Glasses, he can't give a precise date as to when the first promotional glasses were manufactured, but the oldest tumblers in his personal collection are from 1932. The manufacturer of the glasses themselves is unknown, but they were hand-painted by artist John Hell Jr. and depicted characters from a vaudeville play. Years later, a set of glasses was produced by the Libby Glass Company to promote Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1937, printing characters on new safe edge glasses. This was the first full-length, hand-drawn animated feature, an important distinction as several other animated features using cutout and stop-motion techniques did precede it, and as such had a significant promotional push by Disney. The tumblers could be purchased in variety stores or obtained free with a cream cheese or cottage cheese purchase. Over the next 12 years, Disney continued to feature characters from their films on new sets of glasses. Another early adopter of promotional character tumblers was Welch's. In 1953, the company had images of Howdy Doody and related scenes on glass jelly jars. The inventive promotion, essentially giving customers a free juice glass with every purchase once they were done eating the jelly, was a big enough hit that they continued to feature different characters over the course of many years. After Howdy Doody, for instance, came Davy Crockett and 3 different sets for the Flintstones. But the jelly jar drinking glasses didn't cease production in the 1960s. According to jellyjammers.org, there were a total of 28 promotions, each series containing multiple designs, through 2002, with the last set being for Jimmy Neutron. Warner Brothers had the most variations over the years, with a total of 4 series and 34 tumblers. More if you count glass shape variations, the first of which came out in 1978. Some characters included were Bugs Bunny, Porky Pig, the Tasmanian Devil, and Marvin Martian, among many more. Tom and Jerry also had a pretty good run with 3 series of 4 glasses each through the early 90s. Some RetroDaze staff favorites include The Wubulous World of Dr. Seuss, Dinosaurs, Peanuts, and Muppets in Space. The Muppets in Space set was released in 1998 and, interestingly, promoted a movie that was never actually made. According to the Muppet Wiki page, at that time the Jim Henson Company was considering 2 different scripts for the final film, Jerry Jules' Muppets from Space and Kirk Thatcher's Muppets in Space. These jars reflect Thatcher's ultimately unused script idea. Welch's wasn't the only company to partner with the Jim Henson Company for the production of collectible glasses. Nearly 2 decades earlier, in 1981, McDonald's released a set of tumblers promoting The Great Muppet Caper with illustrations by Daryl Cagle, who started working for Henson Associates in 1979 and illustrated hundreds of Muppet and Sesame Street products until his departure in 1993. There were 4 glasses, which included Kermit on a bicycle, Miss Piggy on a motorcycle, Kermit, Fozzie, and Gonzo in a hot air balloon, and the Muppets on the Happiness Hotel bus. There was also a fifth glass that was given only to managers of McDonald's, which promoted the upcoming collectible glasses. Alarmingly, as reported by UPI in 1981, a Massachusetts legislative committee refused to recommend weakening state standards to allow McDonald's restaurants to sell Muppet glasses as they have been doing nationwide due to a more than 50% lead content in the decorative paint. It turns out this wasn't the first time the lead content in the decorative paint came to the media's attention. On July 9, 1977, the New York Times ran an article entitled "Dangerous Lead Content Reported in Paint on McDonald's Glasses," in which they report that promotional drinking glasses distributed by the McDonald's hamburger chain contain dangerous amounts of lead-based paint and should not be in the hands of children. They further explain the test conducted by the Federal Environmental Protection Agency found that the paint on these glasses contained up to 18 times the legal limit in paint on the outside of glasses. It should be noted that this was based on limits at the time, which actually allowed for much more lead than is currently recommended. Of course, there were others who claimed the glasses were safe, like the spokesman for Owens Illinois of Toledo, Ohio, a producer of some of McDonald's glassware who denied there was any health hazard. In any case, as long as you aren't scraping large chunks of paint directly into your mouth, you're probably safe to continue collecting your favorite character glasses. McDonald's Garfield glass coffee mugs are often cited as one of the releases with lead in the paint, though there does seem to be quite a bit of confusion regarding the manufacture date, which has caused a conflation of data. For example, some sources will cite the previously mentioned New York Times article as reporting on these Garfield mugs, even though the article never mentions Garfield specifically. At first glance, this may seem likely as the article was published in 1977, and most eBay listings will claim the mugs were released in 1978. And again, upon first glance, this almost seems accurate because many of the mugs have a 1978 copyright along with the art. Further investigation, however, reveals these mugs more likely were released in 1987, as every McDonald's commercial on YouTube for this promotion carries the 1987 copyright. Now, that isn't to say there's no lead in the paint, but rather the amounts listed in the New York Times article are related to a different set from a decade earlier. Despite any release date confusion or possible lead contamination, these glass mugs are among many collectors' favorite, due not only to the subject matter, but the different form factor and function as compared to most other collectible glass promotions. McDonald's released many more collectible drinking glasses over the years, including tons of fan favorites, starting with a 1977 action series depicting McDonald's characters, including Captain Crook, Hamburglar, Ronald McDonald, Big Mac, Grimace, and Mayor McCheese. They again released glasses featuring McDonald's characters in 1980. The Camp Snoopy collection came out in 1983 with a set of 5 tumblers, plus one rare manager's glass, depicting the Peanuts gang enjoying a variety of summer activities. In 1994 and 1995, respectively, McDonald's released a different kind of collectible mug for both the Flintstones movie and Batman Forever. The sculpted vessels were like a 3D carved glass with the designs as part of the mug itself rather than only painted on. The set of 4 Flintstones glasses resembled different mug styles with sculpted detail and the McDonald's and Flintstones name on them. The 1995 Batman Forever set, on the other hand, featured a number of the characters from the movie, including the Riddler, Batman, Robin, and Two-Face. Of course, McDonald's wasn't the only fast food establishment using promotional drinking glasses to get customers through the door. As discussed in a previous video, Taco Bell entered the game with a Star Trek promo in 1984 to promote Star Trek III: The Search for Spock. With the purchase of a medium or large drink and an additional 69 cents, patrons could purchase one of 4 Star Trek glasses. The unique shape of the glass helped this set to stand out among competitor tumbler promotions and often tops my personal list of favorites. Burger King's first foray into the collectible tumbler discourse didn't have any characters on it, and rather was a commemorative 1776 to 1976 tumbler. Each one had the Burger King logo and the tagline, "Have it your way," on the front. On the back, you could get one of 4 designs, including the Liberty Bell, crossed flags, eagle and shield, or patriots playing instruments. 2 years later, in 1978, BK released the marvelous Magical Burger King set, this time featuring the king himself doing different magic tricks on each glass. And since we just released a video about Pac-Man, I feel it's our moral imperative to mention Arby's set of Pac-Man tumblers.
Who's eating his way through Arby's? Pac-Man! Arby's new Pac-Man glass is so popular, everything at Arby's is being gobbled up. There goes a roast beef deluxe. There goes a sub. Whoops, there goes our logo. Come to Arby's today for your fabulous Pac-Man glass. But you better hurry, that Pac-Man is insatiable. There's no stopping him. Get your official Pac-Man glass today, only at Arby's.
There were so many amazing releases, it's impossible to fit them all into one video in a satisfying way. We still haven't even gotten to the Pizza Hut ET tumblers, the Return of the Jedi set from Burger King, or the absolutely spectacular set of glasses for the Goonies from Godfather's Pizza, which are some of the pricier ones to purchase if you were looking to add some to your collection. Heck, even Kellogg's had their 1977 Collector's Series set of 6 juice glasses, each with a character from their cereals, including Big Yellow Cowboy, Tony the Tiger, Tony Jr., Snap, Crackle, and Pop, Toucan Sam, and Dig'em the Frog.
So often here at RetroDaze, we dip our toes into a topic that at first appears to be a calm pond, but ends up being a vast and stormy ocean. Such was the case with collectible character glasses. Not only are there far too many to cover in a 12-minute video, but once you consider all the tertiary topics that flood into the already full sea, we're looking at a flood of epic proportions. That is to say, we'll certainly be revisiting this topic, and especially if you have enough suggestions for us. Which brings me to the question of the week: which collectible glass sets were your favorite? Which do you still have or wish you still had? I'd love to hear about it down in the comments, and if you enjoy our content, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and maybe even activating that ubiquitous notification bell. It really does make a huge difference. Let's meet again next week to celebrate yesteryear, right here on RetroDaze.
Clicky clacky.